What's happening? Welcome back to another episode of the Account for Your Life podcast. This is Jay Moore, the Healthy Accountant, helping you to account for your life today. How to have certainty. How to have certainty, and what is certainty? Certainty is a firm conviction, something that you just know. You say, you know what? No one can talk me down off of this. No one can tell me that this thing that I'm thinking is different. I just know. So it's a firm conviction. And how does one get to the point in your life and in anything that you're doing and just know that this thing is what it is? Like, how does one get a firm conviction? Today, we're just going to talk briefly about this. I'm in New York. I'm here for a speaking engagement, the Rise and Shine Summit. If you are in the upstate New York area, definitely, make sure you see if you can register and come and join us live. I think we have a program this evening. It starts at 4 o'clock. I think it goes from like 4 to 8. And then on Saturday, it goes from, I believe, 10 to 5. And I'll be speaking on Saturday. So let's jump right in this certainty thing, having a firm conviction. Why am I talking about this? I was listening to my own book, right? Living Life on the Next Level. Narrated by my good friend David Harris, and I'm listening to the book, just taking myself back to when I wrote it, which I wrote the book back in 2020, and so I'm listening to it. I'm just like, wow, this is, certainty is a major stumbling block for many people, including me. That's probably why it's in there. Certainty is one of these things that, when you're looking to accomplish something you want to accomplish, having a successful business, having a successful relationship, marriage, losing weight, whatever it is. Like, certainty is one of these things that, like, how do you get a firm conviction? Like how do you just know that something is true? And in the book, I talk about, a story about Tony Robbins and how I went to one of his seminars. And when I went to the seminar, he was teaching on becoming certain. And, it was just amazing to hear how he broke it down and what he said, and just kind of how he demonstrated getting certain, and I explained it like this in the book. I went to the Word of God. Like, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Everyone's read that, everyone's heard that, or at least most believers have. But then you're like, well, how do I just know? And it's just a little bit. It's just a little bit of belief that we need on what it is that we are looking to become certain of. So that's where you get practical. So what do I want to be certain about? I want to be certain about how much, my money and kind of like, when it's coming in, I want to be certain about that. And it's nothing like having a job, right? Because, on a job, you get paid every 2 weeks. In entrepreneur land, we actually have to devise a system, and that's a part of the whole process when it comes to being certain. We have to design a system that actually creates the result. And so a couple of days ago, I talked about, developing systems, and because systems create the results. So as I'm thinking and, just kind of like looking to share this concept even further, because I just know that if I needed certainty, then I know most people need certainty. Most people want certainty. It was interesting because, I was talking to my wife. She's in California. It's crazy. We're on 2 different coasts. She's in California, and I think she texted me about something that she watched on the news. And it was interesting because we're on 2 different, wave patterns. And so she watched something on the news, and she was like, well, she was asking me how I could believe the opposite to, or why I would be opposite to what the news is saying. I says, well, it's just what I personally believe. I just believe that when it comes to media, mainstream media, the mainstream media is not trying to build certainty about the things that I personally want. The mainstream media would like to build uncertainty around the things that you want. So if I'm personally under that knowing, I'm saying I'm certain about this, and there's nothing that she can do, there's nothing that anyone can do to tell me otherwise. So I'm so certain that, look, it doesn't really matter. I'm not going to entertain not being certain about it. I'm not going to entertain not knowing. I'm not going to entertain it because I just know. But then the question is, how does a person get to the point where they just know something? I think it just comes down to one day. One day, you, I guess in my case, you just kind of like get to the point of, disgust. And, you get to the point that you just like, hey, man, I've gotten this far and it didn't work. So I might as well try something else. Hey, I've watched the news. I've been watching the news every day, every night, every afternoon. I watched it. I drank the Kool-Aid. It was up until 2000, probably 2009, 2008, 9, after the real estate collapse. I realized I went into a failure mode because I'd watched the news so much. I believe what the news told me. When I finally understood what happened in 2008, I says, oh my goodness, there were some people who got magically rich or more rich. Why? Because they could go out and buy up all of the homes, the properties that went into foreclosure for no money hardly. Had I known, like, what would I have done? Well, we're living in the same kind of time period. And I said to myself, are my eyes open or are my eyes closed? You just come to a point in your life when you really have to question all your beliefs. And as I'm sitting here talking and realizing that there are some beliefs that I'm still holding on to that potentially could be sabotaging my wealth. Like, what if? Yeah, so there's some beliefs that that I had back in 2008, 2009 that truly did not serve me. And I'm realizing that I'm saying, wait a second, I have to change. I have to then find those beliefs and I have to root them out. Because when you're looking to change your life, when you're looking to account for it, it's called, well, what have I already been doing? Part of the book, Living Life on the Next Level, is that, we all need accountability. And accountability is what? Accountability is when you become more transparent, when you open up and you say, okay, well, this is what I was doing. What does that look like? You say, that doesn't look good. That looks terrible. That is horrible that you did that. Or, man, that was really good. Keep doing it. So developing certainty, one, we have to open up the books and we've got to become accountable to what it is that we're doing, to what it is that we're saying, to what it is that we're hoping for, wishing for, praying for. We got to become accountable to that. And it's nothing like just the areas that most people like we're all doing a lot of the same things. We're all running toward what? What are we all running toward? Well, we wake up in the mornings. I got to run towards work. I got to run towards, occupation and making money. I've got to run towards, the same stuff every single day. But the question I have is, have we become so certain in those areas that our lives change? Because at the end, like who doesn't want their life to change? And when we develop certainty, our lives can change. So when I was thinking about certainty and kind of like what you can really take away today in certainty, I was looking over the book, Living Life on the Next Level. And, yes, you have to become certain. But there's another one. There's a subchapter in this section of the book, and it's titled The Psychology of Winning. The Psychology of Winning. You definitely want to pick up this book, and you definitely want to listen to it on Audible. It's really good. What is the psychology of winning when we're looking at becoming certain? One of the stories that I used in the book was, how in 2020, The Last Dance came out. Michael Jordan, Chicago Bulls, the story of that last year. And one of the things that I really took away from watching is that, Michael Jordan was good, right? But I mean, this, like, I don't understand. Like when I watch how it was almost like how, I don't know, certain he was. He was so certain about himself that even when Scottie Pippen was sitting out for the first few months of that year because he was having a contract dispute, Jordan was so certain in himself that even though he didn't have a lot of help, he said, man, we still gonna win games. They started out 0-4. They started out 0-4 that year. And he started pulling this team together because of his own personal certainty. See, the winner's mindset is nothing like the normal mindset. The winner's mindset can look at the problem and can see the problem and say to themselves, I can overcome the problem. So the first thing we have to know in the psychology of winning is that there's no problem too big that we cannot solve. No problem. Problems are made to be solved because in the Chinese culture, the Asian culture, Japanese, Asian, when they see a problem, you know what they see? Come on, what do they see? They see opportunities. Opportunities. So what is an opportunity? And opportunity is like going into business. The newest book, Beyond Tax Strategy, is all about being entrepreneurial yields opportunity, not danger. Opportunity is it's kind of like, hey, when I went into the workforce and I was looking at the opportunity of going into the workforce, and I saw the path, it's like, man, it's going to take a long time. Like, like, can I really get to $200,000 working for a company? Like, how long is that going to take? Really, back then, it was like, can I get to 75? Can I get to 100? Man, that's going to take a long time. But when you see a different perspective, you say, well, if you're going to business, you could potentially do it faster and do more. That's an opportunity that most of us don't see because we say, well, I'm just going to go for the secure route. I'm just going to go for the route where it doesn't seem too risky. I'm just going to go for the route where, I don't have to, man, I have to think as much. I don't have to, really come up with anything. I can just kind of go the path of least resistance. Well, see, that's the difference. You got one opportunity that can yield one result, but then you have another opportunity yields another result. And what happens is most people look at certain opportunities and say, that looks dangerous, so I'm not going to go that way. I'm going to leave that alone when that's actually the best opportunity to go in. A winner, when they see these types of opportunities, they weigh them out and they says, man, I'm going the way that really would benefit me the most because I'm going to win. And it doesn't matter how long it takes. It doesn't matter what I have to go through. I'm going. And it doesn't matter if someone comes with, right? Back in 2002, when I started out in business, this was the craziest thing that anyone in my peer group would do. No one started businesses back then. I was talking to my friends, they'd be like, you don't have a job? No. You literally working basically for yourself? Yeah. What? How you do that? You know what? I don't know. I'm a winner. My mindset was that if someone else can do it, then that means I can do it. I'm a winner and there's nothing going to stop me. And it doesn't matter how long it takes. I'm still going. See, watching The Last Dance, seeing Michael Jordan in that, just how he thought. And look, listen, that program rubbed people the wrong way because winners, that's what they do. They rub people the wrong way because most people don't understand the psychology of winners. Most people don't understand it. Most people look at winners, and so what happened is they separate themselves. I probably couldn't do that. When no, you can't do it like them, but you can do it on a level. You could do it on a level that you can get to. Doesn't mean you're going to be as good as a Jordan, as good as a Kobe, as good as LeBron or Magic Johnson. Doesn't mean that you're going to be as good as a Stephen Jobs or as good as a Jeff Bezos. It doesn't really matter. Like, you don't have to be as good as them, but you got to be as good as yourself. You got to take what you have and go as far as you can, but it takes the winner's mindset. See, becoming certain requires the winner's mindset. I heard Eric Thomas say some years ago, he says, winners win and losers lose. So if you're a winner, you're going to win. If you're a loser, you're going to lose. Now, here's the thing. If I don't think I'm a winner and I would like to become a winner, how do I change my mind so that I can win? That's one of the easiest questions that you could ever ask. It's a decision. You make a decision and you say, I am now a winner. I will win at everything that I personally do. Everything. And it doesn't matter how long it takes. I'm willing to fail. See, that's the difference between losing and failing. Losing is like someone quitting. Failing is the natural progression of winners. Michael Jordan was a failure. He was failing year after year after year. They was getting knocked out of the playoffs. They didn't make it to the championship. And it took him over 6 years before they finally did it. Well, what does that mean? Does it mean that he was a loser? No. It means that he just went through failures in order to get to his winning. But he always had the winner's mindset. So if you're going to become certain and you want a specific path to get there, making a decision that you are a winner today is what would be paramount to your success, to my success. I'm a winner. I choose to win. I choose to go through every step necessary to get to the level that I'm going to get to the pinnacle of whatever my success looks like. That's what you have to say to yourself. And with winning, that's going to ultimately keep me certain about who I am. See, because knowing who I am helps me to do the things that I'm supposed to do so that I can then have the things that I'm personally supposed to have. So guys, that's how to have certainty in your life, your business, your marriage, whatever it is. Take these words and allow them to penetrate your body so that you can do and have all the things that you know you want. So guys, I want to thank you for joining me for this episode of the Account for Life podcast. I am Jay Moore, known as the Healthy Accountant, helping you to account for your life. God bless, and I'll see you on the next episode. Peace.
This has been the Account for Your Life podcast with your host, the Healthy Accountant himself, Jay Moore. Until next time, make it a great day.